The trucking industry is a heavily regulated business. There are thousands of regulations, rules, policies, and procedures designed to help guide the driver in making these decisions. But in the end, it is up to you to make these decisions. This video will demonstrate how to make educated decisions and implement them where proper load securement on a flatbed is concerned.
Obviously, customer service is always got to be there. That's for all of us. It's not just the drivers, it's for the management. You as a driver, and I've been told this from day one, from any job that I've ever done, you sometimes are the only face that is there for car waters. There's your safety, 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 safety. You can't say anything about it. It comes with your basic score and your carrier's basic score. What is your CSS, or your safety compliant, or your compliant safety accountability? What it stands for, and that's everything that you should be working toward to keep as a good rating. Okay. There's a lot of scuttle about this when it came out, but I'll tell you what, it's called accountability, and now that it's there, we know that drivers just can't hop from carrier to carrier where they may cause some issues at the previous employer. That this follows you everywhere you go. Brief understanding pretty much how it works, gathers the data, and compare safety performance. This allows the feds to take a look at what's the standard, if you will, where companies are at, what's the range. Professional drivers and the carriers with the highest scores are more likely to be involved in crashes. So that's a no-brainer. What's the ultimate goal with all this? The ultimate goal is for the accountability to make sure that we have good safety programs. Or are there issues out there on the highways that we can change a few things? Scale houses, the DOT guys that do a great job. I support them, and I'm sure that we all respect them in this room because they got a job to do. And if we got a company out there that's not being held accountable, and we're riding beside it, we know that their trucks are less than desirable to be out there, they should be held the same standard as you that do your job. But it also measures reports of violations and that are assigned to the carrier and to the driver. And we get those categorized. Behavior, analysis, and safety. Okay? If we don't have any checks and balances, the behavior is a free-for-all. There is no analysis if we don't have this type of system set up, and safety's out the window. So, and then we get all those measurements in place for the drivers and for the carrier, and now we can work for improvement. And other companies can learn from the things that companies like yours that are doing right. And we can learn from companies that are doing things right. It's all shared. The driving habits, are you a tailgater? Can we always see the rubber on the rear axle of the vehicle in front of you? Is that even enough? Are we doing 10-second, 20-second falling distance counting? Are we using our turn signals? A commercial driver should let that turn signal flash 3 times before they move into a lane, and then can let it flash another 2 or 3 times while they check their mirrors and then turn off their signal. The FM's CSR 392.9 and the part 393 subpart 1, and this is about how we check our loads the first 50 miles of the trip or the first hour, whichever comes first. So right here, then after we do that first check, then it's every 3 hours or 150 hours, whichever comes first after that. Tie downs obviously is to keep our load secure, keep it from moving, and also to prevent damage to the cargo itself and the truck, right? So aggregate working load limit. So basically the securement system at least 1.5 times the weight of the articles or the material. Okay, and this here goes through about our anchor points, what blocking means, and these are things that I'm sure that you're quite aware of because there's some material. You guys have to do any blocking? Is it all pretty much a flat load? How about your rebar? You got blocks under that so you can get the forklifts underneath of it? Yeah. Okay.
So people can get it off the truck.
Yeah, you guys aren't hauling steel coils here, All right, so you don't have to worry about too much of the blocking part of it. But bracing is one that you guys have to do. For one, your bulkhead is one of your big braces, because that's where a lot of your pails and your 55-gallon drums should be up next to. Putting those in the middle or on the rear end of a flatbed, it doesn't work. All right, and that gets your weight off, and also you're going to lose them on your turns. Okay, and your friction mats, and when you guys have the plastic called the V boards, you said, right? That there's for one, it helps lock your load down. The second does it saves your cargo from being damaged, and also from your straps getting worn. Tie downs, making sure that you know what the working load limit is of your straps. I think yours are all pretty much rated 15,000 pounds. And from what I could tell in the new truck, obviously they're new straps, they look good. If you got some worn out straps that are questionable, frayed, whatever, out of service, and replace them. Header board, obviously that protects us, the cab, the driver, and for those sudden stops. We never know when we're going to have to do sudden stops. But that's getting the big picture, look far enough ahead so we can avoid them too. And these are the different type of securements. Load locks, these here is what we use inside the cargo trucks. Chock blocks, coil tie downs. You guys are also using the straps. The aggregate working load limit of any securement load used to secure an article or group of articles against the movement must be at least 1.5 times the weight of the article or the groups of articles. Take a look at that question up there and tell me what you guys think the answer would be. Okay. This gets into the cargo types of things there, but you guys also, you guys required to tarp anything? Okay. No but these load locks, I'm sure then you have them in there because we don't want a barrel tipping over. We don't want that product coming back and product. So here's some good information for you on the weight and the tie downs. Okay, they're using chains here, but one tie down for articles 5 feet or less less than 1,100 pounds or less. So you can use one tie down for that. That's a standard. And then for the two tie downs, that's 5 feet or less, or if your weight's more than 1,100 pounds. And then we get into the feet. If we're 5 feet, if the article is longer than 5 feet but less than 10 feet, and irrespective of the weight. I'm not a chain guy, but some companies use them, or some, if you're hauling the machinery, you have to use them. Here's what we're used to doing, right, gentlemen? So we got to check the rated load limit, check for wear and tear on the straps, and make sure that everything's flat against the load, make sure we're not twisted or knotted. So we got the rug rails, the edge protection, and then we always make sure that our tie downs are stored in a clean, dry place. Another review question. How many tie downs are required to secure a 24-foot long section of iron piping? 24 foot, so every 10, and then you got to figure in this one, the extra 4 feet, right?
Yep.
And weight distribution. If you guys aren't able to hit a scale before you head out, visually you should be able to look and tell, hey, I got too much weight on the back, or we got too much weight on the front. And that's one good thing about having the driver present when it's being loaded. Okay, and for the warehouseman to have an understanding of that. As we know from experience, top heavy loads aren't our friend, and if we are top heavy, even though if we're still within the legal limits of the height and the weight, we strap, and we also take those turns nice and easy and slow. And when we load too much in the front, too much in the rear, that affects the friction of the tires. And do we not have enough weight in the front, now we're turning and the truck's going straight. This is showing if our load's too far forward, then we get too much weight on the steers. And on top, when we get back to the pre-trip, if all of a sudden we didn't have any problems with the truck, and someone had loaded something really heavy in the front, we can damage components on the truck by weight. You have to be careful. Same thing with putting too much on the back. And also affects your traction and your braking. Shows all the examples of the bad ways of doing things. All right, we have to balance that. Scale house, all right. You know, sometimes you can, even not going to a scale, you can slide that freight in if you feel like that your load's a little bit not loading correctly, you get too much weight on the front. You know, a scale ticket or a scale receipt. All right, so safe loading, that's the responsibility at the end of the loading through the whole thing. It's the driver's responsibility, but the warehouse and or the shipper, they got to help you out with that too. I mean, at the end of the day, if you accept it and sign for it, you know it's not right. Shame on that driver. You know what I'm saying? If you're certified on the forklifts, then usually you just have to do the refreshers unless you get a new piece of equipment. Then we have the company needs to certify you on that. In case there were ever an incident, that's why only an appropriately trained individual should operate it. And there's all different, like the power jacks, the manual jacks, a lot of weight with that. You have to make sure you understand how the brakes work on it. And if you got some defects on it, same thing with your trucks. You know, don't use them. And if you don't know how to use it, leave it alone. Driving behavior, the behavior of a driver and attitude of a driver paints the picture for the company from start to finish through a day. So if you get irritated with a car that's around you, and we decide to do sign language to them because they made us mad, yep, you communicate to them that what you thought of their driving actions, but it shows less than professional. And if you avoided an accident, that shows us success. You're a defensive driver. Okay. All right. And the drivers who follow the rules and the load and deliver the cargo in good condition and safety are appreciated by your company, the public, and obviously the customer.